Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra on digital address GA0993341. It's broadcasting live on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, proudly Ghanaian. Telesol, just a touch. UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, and Mark Auto Parts Ghana, distributors of Isuzu and Chevy cars. Mark Auto Parts Ghana with you for the long run. In this edition, 50-year-old ECG prepaid vendor shot and killed by suspected robbers at Awoshi here in Accra.
I called my wife. She was lying in plenty blood. Then I asked her, I was asking, if I'm here, wake up, let me take you to the hospital. Let's go. In fact, when you hold her hand, the hand goes down.
We'll hear from her husband who tried saving his wife when he found her in a pool of blood. Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association demands government backs out of any engagement with Chinese TV operator StarTimes amid concern the Chinese will take over management of Ghana's digital platform.
We are sacrificing the independence and the sovereignty and the independence of media activity for control from a foreign entity.
Government has meanwhile described the claims as false and a lack of understanding of a move to boost the digital migration agenda.
It's actually totally misplaced for Giba to be suggesting that StarTimes are going to be managing the national digital television infrastructure. It's a fact of matter. Given the National Media Commission, NCA, all these stakeholders are represented on the board. So
we have details. Also, anger as 3.5% fuel price increase takes effect at the pumps today as the depreciation of the cedi begins to bite hard. We also head to the stable of the Electoral Commission where they've refuted claims ongoing limited registration exercise has been characterized by serious infractions.
So that isn't too fatal because first, it is not a widespread issue. The rainfall is not impacting our activities. People are getting the opportunity. People are going to the registration centers to register. And the turnout is quite high in this period. As high about over 100 people in a single day.
There's also sports.
Yes, and we look into the double track system and how it will impact on the inter-schools and colleges sports.
And later on Joy News Agenda, we're focusing on early grade enrollment. We are on the tour of the Greater Accra region town of Old Ningo, where many children roam the beaches for fish while their peers are in school.
My name is Raymond Akono. I don't go to school. I am 9 years old. My father is unavailable.
I am MFR Pao. There's more in this bulletin. Do stay. Details shortly. We'll be heading to Awoshi in a bit on that rather sad story of the killing of an ECG prepaid vendor, the 53-year-old woman. But first, the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, GIBA, is demanding that government aborts plans to hand over an expansion of Ghana's digital migration platform to Chinese TV operator StarTimes. GIBA says China's takeover of the platform will be a sharp departure from the digital migration agenda and rather boost the Chinese government's drive to take control of broadcast space in strategic Africania countries. Government has already missed a number of deadlines to switch from analog to digital broadcasting to improve quality. We've got details of a statement issued by GIBA to the media. And my colleague Kojo Yankson joins me in the studio with more from that statement. So Kojo, why does GIBA believe this arrangement involving StarTimes is a departure from the digital migration plan?
Now, in a rather long statement, MFA, GIBA says, among other things, that last July, Parliament adopted a resolution granting prior approval to the Minister of Finance to waive import duties, import VAT, among others, in excess of 3 million cedis in respect of materials and equipment to be imported for the Access to Satellite TV for 300 Villages in Ghana project. Now, this project is by StarTimes, which is a Chinese pay TV operator here in Ghana. Now, they say that such a project would not be consistent with the agreed roadmap to deliver the nation's migration, as Star Times will not just make profit or indoctrinate Chinese culture, but will control the platform which, according to Gibber, will fit into a larger mandate to take over the control of the broadcast space in strategic African countries, including Ghana, which is crucial for the Chinese endgame, according to Gibber.
So we understand also that Gibber is equally concerned about a number of other private companies that are not receiving such support from government.
Yeah, so they mentioned the multi-TV network, Crystal TV, MultiChoice, Go TV, Strong Digital, Mega Choice Digital, and many other platforms, which they say have provided Ghanaians with free service without any assistance, tax waivers, or financial inputs from any government at any time. Now, Gibber adds that they are disappointed in Parliament for granting the tax waivers to Star Times of China for importation of equipment and other materials to drive digital migration here in Ghana.
Many thanks, Kojo. Of course, we'll get you more of this in our subsequent bulletins, but government has meanwhile fought off claims that the engagement with Star Times will hand them the digital platform. Deputy Communications Minister George Anda tells Joy News that discussions are aimed at speeding up the digital migration drive.
There are certain limitations with the existing infrastructure. Like, for example, there are only 40 channels that can be transmitted on the existing infrastructure. The NCA has loads of applications from broadcasters that want to apply. There are no regional stations that are available. There's no redundancy that is available. There's a need for additional multiplexes to be put on the system. There's a need for the headquarters of the Central Digital Transmission Company to be built. There's a need for technical enhancements to be done on the network. There's a need for renewable solar energy, okay, for the network operating center to be put in place, okay. So there are significant things that need to be done to enhance the network, and those are the discussions that are ongoing. If we receive the right approvals, of course, through cabinet, through parliament, to be able to access the facility, and then we'll be able to do some of these things. So it is actually totally misplaced for Gibber to be suggesting that Star Times are going to be managing the national digital television infrastructure. It is a fact of matter that Gibber is aware that in the draft DTT policy, for which they provided input, okay, the composition of the Central Digital Transmission Company's board is there, and given the National Media Commission, NCA, I mean, all these stakeholders are represented on the board. So as to how they can forget about these things that they themselves have helped us put together and start to get into a panic situation that we are handing over the national digital television infrastructure to Star Times, for me, it's a bit of a misplaced concern.
So you heard that the Deputy Communications Minister, George Anda. Thankfully, Gibber President Andrew Danso Aninkra joins us on the line on government's response to the issues raised. Thank you very much for your time here on the Midday News, Mr. Danso Aninkra. So you heard George Anda there. They maintain that you have been involved throughout the process, yet you don't seem to understand it. They are just fixing the bottlenecks, impeding the digital migration project. They are not taking over entirely. How do you respond?
Well, okay, thank you very much for having me this afternoon, and greetings to all your listeners wherever they are. But the truth of the matter is this: when the minister says that we have been involved, yes, we were involved from the beginning. At a point in time, the committee that was set to advise government on the way forward is not being consulted in those decisions in bringing back the Chinese. The point is this: the Chinese at a point in time, which is Star Times, were involved in the contract, and they were taking off. We are bringing them back on what grounds? We are asking questions that we are not getting answers to. If we're involved, where have we asked those questions and what answers have they given? We want to keep it very simple and straightforward. What we are saying is that the questions that have been put out, we are asking for answers, and when they are able to provide those answers, then probably we will all understand it. If he believes the best of his answers that he can give to the public is what he has given this morning, then we'll continue to ask more questions and further questions to whatever he has said to.
But it's interesting. So on what grounds are they being brought back? Did you find out what answers were you given?
Obviously, the minister was in your studio this morning and he explained the reason why they were bringing back the Chinese. And in simple language and understanding, what he's saying is that there is some money sitting somewhere that they need to go take and use it for other projects they want to undertake. And that is the reason why they are bringing back the Chinese. It is actually tied to the kind of loan they want to go for. But we are saying that the expansion they are talking about, we don't need that expansion at the moment. The system we have at the moment, the platform we have at the moment, has within itself the ability to expand to about 80 channels. If we are going to say that we are going to expand, to what extent are we going to expand? Now, if he says that the Chinese are going to do the expansion to about 140, does it mean that when we get other nationalities come and say that we can expand to 400, 500, 600, 70,000 channels, is that what they are interested in? I don't think that is what the minister wants to tell us.
But for the ministry, briefly, Mr. Ayinkra, for the ministry, they think that your claims are misplaced, or either you are lacking understanding of the whole process, because StarTimes is not being handed the whole national digital infrastructure. You don't believe that?
In his explanation, in your understanding, does it give you the impression that we are not doing expansion when we have not even tested the digital platform that we have installed yet? In his explanation, in what he's saying, did you not hear him say that we are going to build a theater where we are going to develop local content? In his explanation, did he not talk about expansion? So, and if we say we do not understand this, where is his problem? Because what we have built, we haven't even tested.
Okay. Mr. Andrew Danso Aninkra, Giba President, of course, we haven't heard the last of this issue. We'll hear more of it in our subsequent bulletins. Let's head now to Awoshi, where the Criminal Investigations Department has started investigations to unravel circumstances leading to the killing of a 53-year-old ECG prepaid vendor at Awoshi. The deceased, Veronica Akins Mensah, was in her shop when she was accosted by two armed robbers on a motorbike. Two workers in the shop were made to lie face down before the deceased was shot in the head. Her husband, Ignatius Akins Mensah, has been narrating how he saw his wife lying in a pool of blood shortly before she died.
The girl told me armed robbers came here. I get to know that the man who came there first sat down with my wife trying to engage her. He was waiting for the armed robbers to come. So one was on the motorbike and it was one who went in. Then he asked them to sleep on the floor. Then my wife called the other one that he should wake up so that he brings the money. Because the armed robber was asking that, where's the money? Where's the money? They were speaking English. Where's the money? Where's the money? Then my wife told them, he took that in, where's the money? 2 times. No, then he put the gun at the forehead of my wife. Then he shot the gun. Then later on, he called the other cashier. If he doesn't make quick to give them the money, they will kill her like how they killed my wife. So later on, the armed robber himself put his son inside the box. Then he took all the money. Then they left. Immediately I reached there. In fact, I called my wife. I opened it and then she was lying in a blood, plenty blood. Then I asked her. I was asking, if I'm here. Wake up, let me take you to the hospital, let's go. In fact, when you hold the hand goes down. When you hold the pulse, you can't hear anything.
Husband of the deceased, now daughter of the deceased, has also been speaking to us. She says she's yet to comprehend the death of her mother.
My mom is everything. I share everything with her, my secrets, everything. I'm always with her. She's my best friend. I bath with her. I talk to her. I do everything with her. Right now, for the past 3 days, it's not easy. It's not easy. It hasn't been easy at all. But I know with God, we will go through this. We will survive.
My colleague Maxwell Agbagba visited the area and joins us on the line. Maxwell, so what else have we gathered from this incident?
Well, scores of sympathizers were in the family house of the deceased to empathize with them. The immediate family members of the 53-year-old woman were inconsolable when we went there. Sister-in-law of the deceased was particularly incensed about what she described as senseless killings in recent times. She wants governments to ban the use of motorbikes after 6 years. Currently, though, we are at the scene of the incident at Awichi Junction. There are 6 adjoining shops. 2 of the shop owners I spoke to said they closed very early on weekends, and the issue incident actually happened around 7:30 at the time that they are all gone home.
My colleague Maxwell Agbagba there. Now let's stay on robbery attacks because people in communities around the West Hills Mall here in Accra say they are now being terrorized by armed robbers. Some are considering relocating from the area, but with police instructions that residents step up their own security, the people have now decided to form a watchdog committee. We'll hear from them in a bit, but first, the crime officer of the New Wager District Police Station, DSP Joseph Ejay Akofa, has been speaking to us.
The place is expanding. Then we want to advise those people at those areas that at least they should take security into consideration so that they don't leave their places unsecured, where you need to put up barbed wires. Ensure that you do them. You don't leave your door open expecting that the police will come to secure it for you. You need to secure your doors when you are going out. Some people come in very late, and so you try and then come home early a bit. So all those small security things are for yourself.
You heard the DSP Joseph Ejay Akofa there. Now, Chairman of Residents Association, Reverend Oredu Entry, says they've already begun the process of forming a community watchdog, among other measures, since the police has abandoned them.
Certain when Regional Commander gave the instruction, he did it one or twice and he stopped. I'm saying that when Mr. George Nelson instructed the Divisional Commander, Mr. Hain, to patrol the place, he did this maximum 3 weeks and he stopped.
What is the situation there?
As we speak now, last Sunday when we met, we selected about 15 people that we want them to be trained so that we them as community watchdog, deploy them in the afternoon and in the night, because we have to own the security to that point. There have been instances of armed robbery midnight that we have to call before the police will come in. But that one, sometimes you call and nobody will pay. If you call, nobody comes. So it is on that basis we had wanted to build our own police station.
You have Reverend Oredu Entry there, Chairman of Residents Association of New Wager. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, the Electoral Commission has denied claims by the opposition NDC that the ongoing limited registration exercise has been characterized by serious infractions. In a statement signed by General Secretary Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the NDC noted that its monitoring team has found many instances of organizational lapses by the Electoral Commission which threaten to compromise the quality of the exercise. However, the Electoral Commission says its checks only review some technical hitches at some centres. We'll hear from the PRO of the Electoral Commission, Eric Jakpasu, shortly. But first, here are excerpts of the statement released by the NDC.
Reports from our field officers monitoring the limited registration exercise, which took off in selected districts within the 4 regions to be affected by the impending referendum, indicate serious infractions of the rules coupled with other organizational lapses which are threatening to compromise the quality of the exercise. To ensure the EC's registration officers do not on their own enter any additional names outside working hours, paragraph 2.3 of EC's own training manual requires the printing of daily accounting and statistical information which would be verified by our party agent. Unfortunately, our agent could not verify whether or not names had been entered in the register before the commencement of the exercise. Our second concern is that the EC should have known that areas affected by the registration are experiencing the rainy season. The resulting flooding has cut several communities from their district centers where the registration is taking place. We demand the issuance of a daily activity report from the EC officials to our agents in the registration centers to avoid any further controversies at the centers.
We can now hear from the Electoral Commission on the claims being made by the NDC. Eric Jakpasu is head of communications.
At the close of day, as at yesterday morning, we had reports of some technical challenges in some of the areas, not throughout the 47 registration centers, a few centers in the Savannah and then the OT regions, which made it impossible for them to print the end-of-day activity report. So that isn't too fatal because, first, it is not a widespread issue, and two, there are ways of verifying and counter-checking the total number of people who have done their registration. So I think that situation has been normalized now, and they are getting the end-of-day activity report. Yes, rainfall, yes, in some areas of the northern, upper east, upper west, there are rainfall. But looking at the turnout from our registration centers in the Savannah and then the northeastern region, the rainfall is not impacting our activities. People are getting the opportunity. People are going to the registration centers to register, and the turnout is quite high in those areas. as high about over 100 people in a single day. There may be rains, yes, rains are falling, but they are not impacting the activity negatively.
Eric Jakpasu is head of communications at the Electoral Commission. Now, trading activities, access to healthcare, and even the education of children are being hampered at Akanyonga in the Bongo district of the Upper East region. This is because a bridge linking the area to the district capital and other communities has collapsed, making it difficult for residents to cross over, especially during the rainy season. Joy News' Upper East correspondent Albert Sorry has more.
This bridge is over a river separating the Akanyonga communities from the district capital, Bongo, and other neighboring communities. It has collapsed right through the middle, and the concrete slabs are still lying in the river. Whenever it rains heavily, residents within Akanyonga cannot cross over to Bongo to trade in the market or even to seek health care at the Bongo hospital in case of emergency. The most affected are the farmers in this area because it is now harvest season and the broken down bridge makes it difficult for them to sell their produce at the markets in neighboring communities or at the Bongo market.
It was easy for farmers to cross from Tankon, Naire and Bemboku to the market to sell their food produce. But since the collapse of this bridge, it's a hindrance to the farmers over there. Besides that, many teachers absent themselves from school days because of this broken bridge, and people's absenteeism too is also very high.
If it is raining and I'm over there, I have to just be there for the whole time, so my activities there will not be there. So I am just trying to plead that the government, if there's any way they can do to support the community.
At the Dua Kantia community, still in the Bongo district, there is no bridge at all, so residents here have to wade through the river to cross to other communities.
Albert Sorry's report. Meanwhile, President of Burkina Faso, Roch Marc Christian Kabore, is in Accra or in Ghana for a state visit. The two leaders are expected to brief the media on areas of cooperation. So measures to deal with the impact of the yearly spillage of the Bagri Dam and extension of rail lines from Ghana to Burkina Faso are expected to feature. We'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. Now, let's head to the Ashanti region quickly because a 60-year-old man and his son have both drowned in the river Ofin after the canoe they were crossing on to their farm capsized. Erastus Asari Donko has been following and joins us on the line with more. Erastus, tell us more about this incident.
So this incident happened on Sunday. The town is called Midday, and
hello, Erastus. You'd have to position yourself properly. Erastus, can you hear me? Unfortunately, Erastus is unable to hear us, so we'll bring you more after the break. When we return, also on Joy News Agenda, focusing on early grade enrollment. We take you on a tour of the Greater Accra region town of Old Ningo, where many children roam the beaches for fish while their peers are in school.
My name is Raymond Akpono. I don't go to school. I am 9 years old. My father is unavailable.
That is the sweet sound of excellence. That is the sound from Mack. Yes, Mack Ghana is the #1 distributor of the world's best quality Isuzu and Chevrolet vehicles in Ghana. Isuzu trucks from 1.5 tons to heavy-duty vehicles. Isuzu buses from 15 to 33 seaters, double and single cabin pickup, available in automatic and manual transmissions. We also stock a wide range of Chevy cars from SUVs, sedans, and small cars, fully loaded with exquisite specifications. All our range of vehicles stand out due to its high fuel efficiency, safety, luxury, spacious interior, world-class delivery, and after-sales servicing. What's more, we offer flexible payment terms to meet your pockets. Mack Ghana is the sole distributor for Isuzu trucks and pickups, as well as all range of Chevrolet cars in Ghana. Call us on 0302-813-919 in Accra or 0242-039-550 in Kumasi. Visit our website mackghana.com. Mack Ghana, with you for the long run.
This is the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Time now for sports. Read one.
Yes, we've got Champions League football here on your slate 99.7 FM, where we've got Liverpool in action against Paris Saint-Germain. That's later on tonight in the Champions League. Also, matches will be looked at this evening. But first, now, authorities and parents are struggling to get their heads around government's implementation of the double-track system for senior high schools. The shift system could affect inter-schools and colleges sports. Love FM's Delali Atiase looks at this impending headache.
Ashanti region is noted for its vibrant inter-school and colleges competition, which has unearthed talent for the country dating back to decades. Former national athletes like Diana Yankee and Emmanuel Tufokura of the late 1980s, as well as current US-based trio of Emmanuel Dasso, Achunya Madi, and Mabel Dazi were all discovered through the competition. So with the new system, how will the Regional Education Sports Department manage the competition in order not to deny some students participation? Henry Osei-Mensah is the Ashanti Regional PE coordinator.
For the first year, some schools will have a problem because they may not be able to identify those in the other track, because every term there will be one track in the house.
That's your sports for lunch.
I know you live in a mansion, right?
No.
Okay, so you rent. Okay. So high rent advance has discouraged many from seeking shelter in decent homes. Landlords are demanding as much as 2 years of advance payment. As we get ready for the Joy News Western World Properties Habitat Fair this weekend, we put the spotlight on the phenomenon. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
Sounds from a pub in one of the alleyways at Mamobi. I've met David Kondo. David usually sits here to chat with his friends after work. Today, the subject matter is high rent advance. Some weeks ago, David was denied a room at Medina because he was unable to make the upfront payment of 2 years.
I went to a place at Medina. They asked me to pay 2 years. And a month is almost, 300, which times 24, come on. So I couldn't afford it. I have to use that money for different things altogether. And even where I got and I'm living, he also said, no, I should pay the same 2 years. He was even demanding for 3 years, and I said, I don't have it. So I managed, but you have to see, you look at your wife, your children, and you understand the expenses you will do before raising that money at the end of the month. How much are you going to pay for light bill and those stuff?
Frank Leke. About 200 meters away from where David lives is Franklin Leke. Franklin has rented out some of his apartments. He says some tenants are unwilling to make additional payments when their rents expire.
The tenants, mostly, if you rent a place for them for taking advance for 2 years, and if, let's say, the advance is finished, and you tell them they should give you extra 2 years or 1 year, they'll be struggling with you.
But for the best mortgage options, you need to be at the Joy News Western World Properties Habitat Fair. And it's aimed at bringing together key industry players in the housing and construction sector to provide all the solutions to your housing needs. This year's event will be at the Providence Event Center, and it's happening from the 21st to the 23rd of September 2018. It's a long weekend, so let's meet there at the Providence Events Center. Now, scores of children of school-going age still remain out of the classroom due to poverty, but research indicates early enrollment has many benefits, including the child's better understanding of issues. And that's the focus of Joy News Agenda this week. Today, Joy News journalist Emefa Atiamwa Eli visits the Greater Accra region town of Old Ningo to find out why many children still roam the beaches in search of fish while their peers are in school.
Though parents and guardians appreciate enrolling their children at the right age, a major setback in their quest is poverty.
In this society, since it's a farming society and fishing society, so at times coming to bringing them to school is very difficult. At times they do help their parents to go and fish and go and help them at the farm.
Some of them, they come to the beach to get fish to sell and get money because they are financially down. So, and the parents cannot afford.
Ningo is one of Greater Accra's oldest coastal communities. Just like many other fishing communities, Early childhood education is still not impressive here. It is common to find children idling at the beach at the time their mates are in school. A few go there mainly to help their parents and guardians in their fishing business. Others too, just to while away their time.
My name is Raymond Akpono. I don't go to school. I am 9 years old. My father is unavailable. My name is Alfred Kwe Norte. I am 5 years old. My mother doesn't have money, so I don't go to school. My name is Felix Blemano. I am 15 years. I am not well, so I don't go to school. I need someone to help my mom to take me to the hospital so I can go back to school.
Enroll Me Now is still on. What's trending on social media, Maps?
Afrima is trending, and that's the All Africa Music Awards. And at Freddy_GH says, #Afrima is designed to promote distinct, rich African music worldwide, engaging millions of fans by propelling African music to glorious pinnacles beyond the borders of Africa. #Afrima. And at Danny_GH says, #Afrima 2018 is home. And at Obibia_Nana says, #Afrima 2018 launch happening. It's good for Ghana.
And it's still for me, #Habitat Fairs happening this weekend. Let's meet there at the Providence Event Center. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apau. Thanks for your company.